Baseball's winter meetings are upon us. So what are some of the big player names to look for at these meetings? And what will the Red Sox do to set up their plan for the rest of the offseason? Baseball's winter meetings are always a great time in the baseball offseason. It's the official start of the hot stove rumor season, where you hear about continual free agent rumors and trade rumors and players moving from team to team. Well, this is the official beginning of that time of year, which runs pretty much from now all the way through up until almost the beginning of spring training. So a lot can happen in the offseason, but the winter meetings are usually where general managers meet to lay the groundwork for all of their plans in the offseason. And as these meetings start, the two big names to watch for are Zack Greinke and Josh Hamilton. These are the two big free agents on a very thin free agent market. And there's some question as to what kind of money these players are going to get in a very thin market and where they're going to go. Now, nobody knows where Josh Hamilton's going. There's big speculation as to whether he's going to get that big, 6-7 year, $100+ million contract from a team, whether it's the Rangers or anybody else. And as for Greinke, with some of his personal issues and the depression that he's gone through throughout his career, there's some question as to what markets he'll be able to pitch in. Can he pitch in a big market? He pitched in LA when he was traded last season, and he pitched fairly well, but I don't know that he's cut out for maybe a New York or Boston type market. So it's going to be interesting to see where these two big free agent players end up, and I think you'll hear a lot of talk about those guys this week at these meetings. As for the Red Sox, they go into these meetings looking to get a first baseman, one or two outfielders, and some starting pitching. And that's a lot of work to do in an off season. And Ben Cherington's going to have to work real hard at these meetings to lay that groundwork. And I think the Red Sox hope to come out of these meetings, hopefully, with having signed an outfielder and a first baseman. Now, whether they're going to get it done at the meetings or not needs to be determined, but I think they're going to make a big push for it at these meetings. If I were them, I would stay away from Nick Swisher, one of the guys that they're rumored to be looking at. He's not a good postseason player. You already had Cody Ross on your team, and you still have a chance to sign him. I'd give Ross the 3 years that he wants because we know he can play in Boston. He hit there last year. He was probably their MVP, and we know Ross can play in Boston. As for first base, they're looking very hard at Mike Napoli, which I think would be a pretty good signing. The hold up looks to be that the Red Sox don't want to give Napoli 4 years, something that the Seattle Mariners have been rumored to want to do for Napoli. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Red Sox don't get Napoli, what are they going to do at first base? Do they turn to Adam LaRoche, or do they try something else? Or do they, use Jerry Sands, a young player who they acquired in the big trade for Adrian Gonzalez and Carl Crawford from the Dodgers? Going to be very interesting to see what the Red Sox do at these meetings. But I think regardless, I don't think you're going to see John Lester traded. It would be ridiculous for the Red Sox to trade a proven starting pitcher like Lester, who, yes, had a bad year last year, for a minor leaguer in Will Myers that nobody really knows anything about. You can't trade a frontline starter like Lester for an unknown minor league player, no matter how good he is. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Red Sox do to lay the groundwork for the rest of their offseason. But what do you guys think out there? As you look at these winter meetings and hot stove season starting, what do you think will happen at the meetings, and what would you like to see for the Red Sox in the offseason?